Inside the tower, it was like a war zone. Dark heat, pitch black, toxic smoke. But in the worst possible circumstances, London's firefighters did their best.
I saw firefighters who I know are extremely fit, marathon runners, completely fucked, throwing up.
The fire floors we went in were helmet-meltingly hot.
I stood up on the 10th floor to smash a door in and instantly felt the heat on my head and shoulders. When I got down and removed my tunic, my shoulders were burnt.
Firefighters have been banned from speaking to the media, but Newsnight has gathered anonymous first-hand accounts from those fighting the fire and identified a series of failings that made a desperate task even tougher. 1:19, 24 minutes after the first crew is dispatched, the first high ladder, or aerial, is assigned to the fire from Paddington. It arrives at 1:32 a.m. If anything could have stopped the fire spreading to the outside, it might have been a high ladder and pump. So why weren't they sent immediately?
The PDA is the predetermined attendance. That's what the fire and rescue service plans for different locations if there is a call. Aerial appliances were not on the original PDA, so in this case there was a half hour or so before the aerial appliance arrived.
Inside, firefighters were battling the worst fire in Britain. The stairwells and tower blocks are supposed to be smoke-free. In Grenfell, the stairwell was yet another hazard.
There was seriously heavy smoke-logged floors between 3 and 14 early doors. Couldn't see a thing.
The stairwells were smoke-logged and full of casualties.
Fighting a fire with toxic smoke, some of the Grenfell fire retardant was based on cyanide. The firefighters had 23 stories to climb, but they had to keep enough air to get back down again.
Crews were working on the stairs without breathing apparatus. They were sorting water and acting as runners.
We took our masks off to put them on people and saw fuckloads of other people doing the same.
More than an hour after the first crews were sent, the fire chiefs on the ground called in every single extended breathing set in London.
There was total chaos beyond entry control. The fire floors we went in were helmet-meltingly hot, and we only went in the lobbies initially. Later, when we were clearing flats, it was a case of a quick look in and close the doors because the water pressure wasn't up to the firefighting.
In thick smoke, in raging heat, something else went wrong too. Firefighters complained their radio communications weren't working properly. They weren't punching through 10 stories or more of concrete, and there was so much traffic on the airwaves they couldn't understand what was being said.
The comms were so overcrowded I turned mine off. We couldn't get priority messages away and gave up trying. We were asked to withdraw several times but just ignored it because we were amongst it at that point.
There's always been a problem in high-rise buildings that anything above a certain amount of floors, you have a problem with the UHF radios or handheld radios.
The firefighters had been trained to fight the wrong kind of tower block fire, and at the heart of this was the advice to residents to stay put until rescued. The controversy over stay put will continue to rage, but with Grenfell Fire's death toll as high as it is, the policy must surely be reviewed. One of the last residents to be rescued from Grenfell was at 6:30 in the morning. More than 200 people survived, but more than 80 people didn't. It's safe to say that those in charge of keeping the capital safe from fire have serious questions to answer.